So yesterday, I get into an Uber. And let me just tell you, I love Uber. I tell people all the time, Uber is fantastic. For a lot of different people, Uber means a lot of different things. For me, it means, hey, I get another glass of wine because I don't have to drive, right? So it's turning me into an alcoholic. But nonetheless, I love Uber. So last night, I get into Uber, and I go on my little drive, right, because I want to get a little pasta. And right when I'm about to get out of the Uber car, the guy goes, hey, Cowherd. He didn't say anything the whole time. He had music on, I was just sitting in the back there and driving there. What are you doing? Being passenger. Hey, and I'm just about ready to get out. He turns to me and he goes, hey, Cowherd, is LeBron coming to L.A.? And that's where I start my show today. Everywhere I go, it's unbelievable. A couple years ago, the Rams were coming to town. Maybe you've heard of the NFL. It's the number one TV show on 5 networks. The Rams were coming to town. Nobody ever asked me about it. Sam Darnold was going pro out of USC. Some people asked me about it. Some. Everywhere I go. Ralph's, Uber, every single Uber driver. Cowherd, is LeBron coming? Ralph's, my gym. I can't even get my 60-pound curls up. It's brutal. It's killing my physique. But listen, man, remember, Kareem came to L.A., Shaq came to L.A., and Wilt came to L.A. They were MVPs and stars before they got here, but their legacies were built in L.A. LeBron's coming here, legacy built. I mean, A-Rod was great. He didn't have a World Series ring. He was Seattle A-Rod. He was Texas A-Rod. Nobody in the country outside of Arlington watches the Rangers. Nobody outside of the Pacific Northwest is watching the Mariners. A-Rod to the Yankees, even that felt big, but really the Yankees cemented his legacy. LeBron's coming here. He's not only a star, he's not only a superstar, he's got the biggest legacy. This could catapult him to greatest of all time. And Magic Johnson, that's why they hired him, to pull this baby off. Magic Johnson understands. Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers, Manchester United, World Cup, Olympics. There are these teams, these cities, these brands, these moments. I have been in L.A. 3 years. Yes, a couple people asked me, is Sam Darnold going pro? A couple people. I can't get out of an Uber now. Can't get out of it without people asking me, hey, Cowherd, is he coming? I don't know. I think he is, but that's how big it would be. Just consider this for a moment. That when the Detroit Pistons beat the Lakers in the championship, I can remember being on ESPN the next day, and my lead story wasn't the Pistons winning. It was Phil Jackson, retiring to Montana. And everybody was like, whoa, how can you not talk about the Pistons winning? And I said, because it's not as interesting as Phil Jackson potentially retiring. That's more interesting. This is going to be Jim Harbaugh to Michigan times 100, A-Rod to the Yankees times 20, T.O. to the Cowboys times 40. It is going to take over the world. By the way, LeBron goes to Philadelphia. That is a huge NBA story. LeBron goes to the Lakers. That's a huge international news story. That's why I'm talking about it. So his theory is, hey, man, KD wrecked the league. It's too easy. It's hurting the league. I cannot believe how many people I hear saying this. Folks, just let's do math. The NBA Finals were 4 games. The NBA season had 1,312 games. You think the last 4 games, which is, by the way, 0.3%, 0.3%, it ruined the league. Oh, apparently you didn't watch the 7-game Eastern Conference Final, the 7-game Houston Golden State Western Conference Final. This is why I've never understood the NBA's reluctance for player mobility. 15 years ago, you know what I was talking about today? Baseball. The NBA offseason now destroys, suffocates Major League Baseball's regular season. Nobody talks baseball regular season who has a national show. We may talk Yankees playoffs, Dodgers playoffs, Red Sox playoffs, World Series, ALCS, NLCS. These owners have watched their franchises double in value in the last 10 years. Franchises have grown more in the last 10 years faster than they grew in the 40s, 50s, 60s combined, in the 70s, 80s, 90s combined. Why? Because the season, like real estate, has been extended all the way to the desert from the beach. That was always the great thing about the NFL. You knew you had the NFL Labor Day to February 2nd. And then the NFL's like, hey, let's move our free agency period to March. Season ends in February. March, they extend the real estate out to the desert. Now they move the draft to April. Oh, we talk a little bit April, and then, they got the OTAs in June. You don't think this was planned? You don't think the NFL didn't sit down and go, okay, free agency here, followed by combine, followed by draft, followed by OTA, followed by... You don't think that was by design? You don't think NBA... Adam Silver, David Stern didn't say, you know what? We get a lot of press April, May, June. Player mobility, we can own July and early August. It used to be we talked about baseball's hot stove league. Nobody talks about that anymore. We talk about the NBA offseason. Player mobility is amazing. By the way, said it yesterday. You telling me the NBA would have been better if Kareem stays in Milwaukee and Shaq stays in Orlando and Kobe stays in Charlotte? What? You got to be kidding me. This whole thing, when I hear, oh my God, the NBA does have an imbalance problem. It's not the Warriors. They're already showing signs of weakness. They had a rough regular season. Houston took them 7 games. Chris Paul's healthy. They'd probably beat that Warrior team. They're already showing signs. They're not Alabama, which looks stronger than ever. This looks like USC at the end. They're really good, but you can see stuff happening here within fissures forming. The NBA's problem isn't the dynasty. It's the imbalance between the West and the East, where 25 of the top 30, 31 stars are all out West. And if LeBron moves, that doesn't help. That's the issue, because no network, TNT and ESPN, they don't want the Eastern Conference playoffs. They feel like they're getting ripped off by the league if they get the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's the problem with the NBA and its TV partners. The dynasty, it's 0.3% of total games. And both conference finals went 7. This player mobility thing, everybody's like, ooh, wouldn't it be more interesting, to be honest? Wouldn't it be more interesting? John Wall's never going to win anything in Washington. Wouldn't it be cool if John Wall could go play with Milwaukee and Giannis and Chris Middleton? That'd be more interesting, not less interesting. Don't you think it'd be more interesting if Kyrie Irving now went from Boston and joined Porzingis? That'd be more interesting. Knicks wouldn't be less interesting. The Celtics would still be fine. Player mobility is a strength. Ask the owners. Some of these owners have owned their teams for 30 years. Herb Simon, Indiana's owned it forever. I bet you he's got more net worth value in the last 5 than he had in the previous 20. It is not a weakness. It is an absolute strength. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.